Hello, my name is John, and I'm a nerd.
Dune. I watched it. Before I say much of anything else, let me just say I've never read the Dune books. I've never. I've been busy reading other things, and I just never got around to that. Um, I've I have a friend who was very much into the Dune books and really enjoyed them, and also enjoyed the '80s movie that came out. I saw that movie. I actually watched it a few times. It's been a while since I've seen it, and I kind of enjoyed the movie, but it was confusing, and I didn't really understand it a whole lot. But it had some spectacle to it, so I enjoyed that part of it. But then yesterday I watched Dune, the new Dune, and second thing I want to say about before I get into what I think about the movie is I have a tendency to fall asleep during movies that don't interest me, or I just am not engaged in for some reason or another. And I have to confess that I was not able to stay awake through this whole movie. The first hour I enjoyed. I love world building, and there was a lot of world building involved in this movie. And I think it did really well with it, at least for that first maybe hour or 45 minutes. And I got to understand a little bit more about the Atreides and the Harkonnens and the Fremen and the Emperor and how those all related to each other. I really understood that better with this film than in the previous version that I saw. There was a TV series, I guess, at some point, which I've never seen that. It wasn't on anything I could see, or I would have watched it. I could probably find it somewhere streaming now, but I don't know if I'll invest in that or not. As far as this movie is concerned, that I just watched yesterday, I have very little complaints about it. I thought it was the visuals were great. Everything looked good. The wormy things there, I forget what they called them. they were well done and impressive and scary. The acting was fine. It just seemed awfully slow. After that first 45 minutes or an hour of the world building, which I was really invested in that, and I enjoyed that. It just really seemed to go really slow, and nothing much really happened. And then I fell asleep, and then I woke up and saw the very end of it. And the end of it seemed very anticlimactic to me. It was just kind of almost just stopped. I'm not going to get into spoilers and say exactly what was going on, but because I always encourage people to watch movies and make their own assessments, read books, whatever, and make their own assessments of it. You can listen to what I have to say, and you'll have that in your mind when you go into it, and then you can decide whether you agree with me or not. I have heard a few other people say that they thought it was a little slow. I would say a little bit more than a little slow. I would say a lot slow. And I might have to watch it sometime and get that little middle part that I missed. But I'm not terribly thinking it's important enough for me to really worry about getting that middle part. Hey, if I'm wrong, let me know. If there's something great in the middle there that I missed, let me know. Like I said, I may just go watch it. I don't know. But I wasn't. I was engaged for the first part of the movie, and then after that, it got too boring, and I fell asleep. I'm sorry, but that's what happened. So that's really all I can tell you about it. I didn't find anything offensive. I was a little surprised at how little Zendaya was in it. I thought she was going to be in it more. She was, but she had very few lines in anything I saw. She was more kind of flashes here and there throughout. Yeah, the acting was good. It was visually stunning in a lot of ways. I just didn't find that it really went anywhere very quickly. So, there you go. That's what I have to say. If I were to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. Just because the story, I didn't find it had much of a story. And I'm taking off half points for that, because that's kind of important if you're telling a story to actually have a story to tell. It's not just about relationships. It's not just about political situations, although those are all part of the setup, but you actually have to have the story to go along with it. And there was sort of maybe a little bit of a progression in the story there, but it wasn't much. And I think part of it is probably because the whole relationship and political setup of the Dune universe is pretty detailed, and there's a lot to try to explain. And that's pretty much what this movie seemed to do, is do all the setting up. And I know there was a series of books. I can't remember how many there were in the book. Like I said, I never read them, but I saw there was I know there's a whole series of them. So maybe that's what they're intending, is to do the series. And the next part of the story is going to be more advancing the actual story, but I don't know. I hope it does well enough that we get another story that's more intriguing and interest-keeping. But this one wasn't it.